And Nabila, loud.
Hello, my name is Latanya Barber.
Hi, my name is Nabila Alfaki and I will be the speaker. My name is Nabila Alfaki and I will be the speaker. I interviewed many interpreters at Lasar School, so because I'm interested in doing educational interpreting. That's one of the fields I want to go into. So I had the chance to meet, really good interpreters at that school. Since Lasar School is a public school, the interpreters are employed through the Bloomsfield Hills School District. The educational interpreting services are not a part of the agency. So Lasar School is a part of the Bloomsfield Hills District in the Oakland County area. The district has 18 staff interpreters and the funding source comes from the school district. Lasar School provides print captioning, deaf-blind tutoring, and interpreting services during extracurricular activities, such as sports and clubs. The position does not require other duties other than interpreting. The contract states other duties as assigned. So the teachers and interpreters work together as a team to make sure the students understand the subject matter. For instance, like this year, the interpreters there at Lasar School, they started a language development support system, between the student and the teacher. Between the student and the interpreter. Other interpreting duties include tutoring, filing, intervener support. So those are the other duties they need to do. When it comes to a complaint about a staff or an interpreter, the school district has steps of correcting this issue. So say for instance, a student has a complaint about a specific interpreter, or a parent has a complaint about an interpreter. There are two lead interpreters. So first they would go to try to resolve the issue with the interpreter and the student. And if that doesn't work, then they go to one of the lead interpreters to resolve it. I also interviewed the interpreters about their work conditions. Since the interpreters use the district-wide handbook, the district's rules about cancellation policy while an interpreter is on the job differs from that of a teacher. If a student is absent and there are no interpreting services required, the interpreters must stay, and do, not extra, but try to better the program, or work with the team. So say filing, like what I mentioned before, if there's prep work, finding out other places that needs interpreting services in the district. Those are a few examples of what the interpreters need to do if the student is absent, in that specific class. The average amount of hours that an interpreter will work is usually 35 hours per week for a full-time interpreter during a regular school week. So this is how the hours are assigned at that school, for those interpreters. When an interpreter is assigned to a certain building, the interpreter will work when the building's time starts and ends. So that's how the hours are split. And that includes, attending sports, games, cross-country, academic competitions, camps, staying overnight, things like that. Those are called supplemental hours, which is overtime or extra hours. So those are not required of the interpreter. It's if you want to get extra money. And this is how they teamwork. Say for instance, the class is usually there for 90 minutes each class, and so the two interpreters, they split the time within that class. So say two interpreters are interpreting for the math class. One of them will take the first half, and then the second one will take the second half. So the assignments are determined by an interpreter's feeling comfortable or enjoys the interpreting subject. electives such as, math, English. That's what I found interesting, that, she likes math, so she's going to do math for, the first, for every year, yearly. So, like, when I went with Erin, she's been doing chemistry for like 4 years, so it's easy for her to interpret that. Additionally, if a student arrives late, if he arrives late to school, the situation is handled as follows. Because interpreters don't know if the bus arrives late or the student is not coming to school, the interpreter usually waits 20 to 30 minutes. If the student is late, the student must go to the office to get their interpreter. So, for most seniors at that school, they want to teach them how to be independent. So it's your responsibility to go get your interpreter and have them get them ready for the real world. Whereas if it's a freshman, they usually will help them out. Call them, or if they don't come get the interpreter, the interpreter will go to the teacher and say, did he see if he came or not. So also, if a student requests a specific interpreter, the team will try to make sure to do their best that they get the interpreter that they want. It doesn't usually happen, but if the student feels more comfortable with that interpreter, then they will do their best to make that happen. I also asked them about the salary and benefits. They get paid bi-weekly, and invoices are handled by filling out weekly timesheets. One timesheet is filled out for regular school hours, and the other one is for before and after school activities. Additionally, the pay rate is based on experience, certification level, and years of service. The pay scale also includes mileage. For instance, if the assignment is split between 2 buildings, the interpreter will get paid the mileage between the 2 buildings. If the interpreter is required to drive during the school day, the interpreter will receive mileage benefit, but if the interpreter decides to extend the day, then the mileage is not, they will not get paid for the mileage. Other benefits include full self, spouse, dependents, for medical, dental, vision, short, long-term disability, accidental and death, minimal life insurance, and workers' comp. But there is a minimum number of hours that are required for benefit qualifications. Also, the agency does not offer financial assistance for continuing education. For instance, when interpreters take the certification test, and if the interpreters pass the test, they get reimbursed for the test that they paid for. When interpreters take a college course and pass the course, interpreters get reimbursed for paying for that course as well. The district takes care of anything that would be liability cost. So if they get sued, the school district will take care of that. In conclusion, having to experience and gain knowledge from professional interpreters has led me to do more research and observation on educational interpreting. Not only were they great hosts, but they were also very welcoming and friendly. So educational interpreting is what I'm aiming to do. Any questions? Yes, Jessica.
How much is the mileage reimbursement?
They didn't actually tell me. They just said they do get paid. So, yes, Val?
Does that school refer to those interpreters as a parapro or interpreter?
The ones that I interviewed, they're all certified interpreters. I think they have all their NICs, all of them, I believe. That's what I asked them for their certifications. They said they have NICs, but I looked them up on their website, and I think all of them except one, all of them have the EIPA certification. There aren't any parapros. Well, I didn't ask him that, but I'm not sure. Like, I think they were all interpreters, certified interpreters. Any questions? Other questions?
Do you love children? Is that why you want to be an educational interpreter?
Yeah, children are cute. No, I worked in a daycare, and I have 3 nephews, or 4 nephews, 1 niece, and they're like my kids. So I like it. I would do high school interpreting, because I really enjoyed it. I did volunteer at elementary, and I think I would do high school. But yeah, I do like children.